We say what they can't radio.
What's up, world? Thank y'all for coming out. Welcome to another episode of Young Gifted Black. Tonight I got some beautiful guests. They my family, my friends. And tonight's episode we're gonna talk about how we pay it forward in our community and how we give it back to the young people, or how we pay it forward to young people within our community. So I want my guests to start to introduce themselves. You go first, Jess. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your business.
My name is Justin Bright. Based out of, grew up in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. My training is basketball training. That's my business. The name of my business is called Humble Development. It has a lot of other things to do with it, and everything I do is based out of Brooklyn. So that's pretty much it.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about yourself. We're gonna get back to you, Justin.
My name is Chris. I work at Boys and Girls High School.
Okay.
I also work with other non-for-profit organizations, dealing with kids. I work with different DJs, dance entertainment, and I also make music on the side.
Got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Positive stuff though.
A lot of art in the making.
That's good. That's good to hear. And Tiama, you have been on the show on numerous occasions. I appreciate you for consistently coming out. So tell me a little bit about yourself though, still.
I'm a painter, poet, songwriter, artist, all around. Basically, I'm a mentor. I'm a lot of things. But I'm from Brooklyn. I'm a student, learning.
I am as well.
Right.
Okay.
We're gonna keep it going.
So I put everybody together tonight because like every time I do this podcast, I want to have positive people on here, but not just positive people that are actually doing something within their community. So I thought about every week I try my best to think about people that inspire me in their daily lives. And you just are one of those people. Tell me a little bit about like what gave you the desires to put Humble Development together, and like where did you get that niche for?
Well, growing up in Brooklyn, basketball is pretty much all I had. So it's either you play ball, sold drugs, or made music. So I chose basketball, which was a more safer route for me. Playing basketball all my life, and just falling in love with the aspect of training. Like, so as a 15, 16-year-old kid, I fell in love with the aspect of training. I realized training can make you better than most people. So I don't know about y'all, but I want to be better than most people.
Absolutely.
I designed a training business where I could give that service to multiple kids in our community and all over the world. Started out local in Brooklyn, then I started out in Manhattan. I worked with a company called Steady Buckets, which is in Tribeca. Then I went to another company called Fast Break, which is in Upper East Side, man. So those companies taught me the business side of the high end dollars.
Okay.
How to deal with those clientels and how to.
So you prepared
present
yourself. You didn't just jump into to the field and say I'm gonna become this successful entrepreneur. You took the steps to get the knowledge.
Basically, like all of us, like we are a part of us. Everybody that guide us in life, we have a piece of them in us, right? So I'm all my coaches in one. I'm all my mentors in one. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you was a bad coach, I learned, like, all right, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and anybody that's doing something positive, there's always something positive to look at it. So, if you're a bad coach, you're doing something positive, though. You're trying to take care of kids and coach them. You're just not good at it. You got to get better.
Yeah.
So, I learn from everybody. I learn from kids. I watch 12-year-olds play, and I learn from them.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's how I look at the game of basketball.
That's beautiful. I remember when I tried out for my basketball team my freshman year, I got cut. Tried out again my sophomore year and got cut. Realized I wasn't that good at the time, and I needed to actually get training. Like, I needed fundamental skills. And I had a lady at the time of Kendra Nelson, which was a basketball player, and she played in her time, and she was like, I could teach you the fundamentals. And although I never made it to the league or got to play Division I basketball, I did learn the game, and I was able to teach the game and coach with people like yourself, being a part of Boys and Girls. And I watch your passion, and I don't think people understand about basketball is that a lot of us is not going to make it to the NBA and be LeBron James or Kevin Durant. But what it does give you is a transferable skill. And transferable skills can be used in all aspects of your life, your career, you know what I'm saying, your relationships, your friendships. So that's why I admire basketball, because what it takes to actually become good, it actually ends up making you a better person. You agree?
Well, definitely agree. Basketball represents life, period. That's why they have the same ball as life.
Yeah.
The ball is shaped like a globe, so everything within itself is everything within the globe is within the ball. So let's say, for instance, for practice, you got to be on time for practice. You got to be on time for work. Hard work. You got to be in the gym countless hours. If you're an artist or like these two, I'm pretty sure they're in the studio hours putting that train. That's their training, and our training is in the gym. I think everything relates to each other when it comes to basketball.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Basketball, you got to be coached. So you have to have an engineer in the studio with you. That's the coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everything has to have a format. So I think basketball just relates to life, period. And it prepares you to be a real good person. Not either you're going to be strong mentally, or you're going to be in shape, or you're going to be prepared for any adversity. Because basketball gives you that.
Absolutely. I agree. And Chris, I'm gonna switch over to you for a minute. Since I met you, Chris, you have been probably one of the most high energy people I know. You know, I've seen you dance. I've seen you rap. I've seen you work with kids. I've seen you, teach. I walked past one day after school. You was teaching the This Is America. You was breaking it down to the class, and you had them asking interesting questions. Like, where do you get your energy from, and what's your drive, and what makes you want to, work with the kids, and what makes you so good at it?
Where do I get my energy from? It's I can never really put a finger on it. I just really just settle for saying life, man. Like, honestly, when you look around and you see so many people dying, you see your own people dying, you see young people dying, you see good people dying. It's like, I gotta live, not only for myself, but I gotta live for those people. Most of these people that died did more than me. Probably would achieve more than I ever will. So it's like, the fact that their life was cut short and their life was shortened and dimmed, like, I gotta live. I gotta do the best of my potential to even reach those limits.
Agreed.
And then, like, where I get my drive from, I look for inspiration in several different things. I think when you really look around in life, it's inspiration in everything. It's funny, like, I could relate to what he's saying, right? With the basketball. Like, even if you watch a game of basketball, you get inspired almost. Even if, like, you could fall in love with the sport by just watching one game. Because you get inspired by, I think it's more of like watching the passion on the basketball player's face. And watching them run up and down the court, watching the sweat and watching them still drive, and watching the emotion and fire they express when they make a certain shot. So it's like, damn, I want to feel like that in something that I do. Like, I want, maybe not this sport or this game, I want that emotion, I want that achievement, I want that intensity. Yeah. So it's like, I look at, I take inspiration from that. I take inspiration from people like artists like Childish Gambino, because I just love the way how everything he does, almost everything he touches is gold, and it's like it's genius and it's consistent. Like, if you think of the last things he's done is consistent, I want to be consistent now with everything I do. Absolutely. I want to be 100%. Like, I want people, every time you hear my name, it's like, yeah, he killed that. Or you remember last night? Like, it's nothing but good stuff.
Absolutely.
So
I agree.
And then what made me want to work with the kids was just, I don't know, I never really pictured myself working with kids. To my mentor, Mr. D, he started really placing me around kids more and wanting me to tell them about colleges and then next thing I know, he gave me a job at Boys and Girls High School, and then that's when I found my passion working with kids.
Well, I think we need more young, strong black men like you and Just to be around our young people, because we're in a crazy time in this world. And I'm gonna switch over to you. Although I'm your friend and your mentor, and you do teach me things as well because you're very intelligent. In this day and age, it's a lot of things happening, right? You know what I'm saying? So, what do you think about mentorship? I'm gonna start off with the first question with you. Like, how important is mentorship in this whole scheme of pushing the young people forward so that they could be better in their time?
It was crazy the whole time we was talking to them. For some reason, I just kept thinking, like, mentors need mentors. Just like therapists need therapists, and black people need them the most. So I feel like what we doing, the work we doing is really important because our people need it. especially the youth, the young people. Like we gotta show them it's a positive route, it's a positive way to go. And I feel like what you just said, you learn from me, I learn from you, and like he just said, he learns from everything. Like we all supposed to be learning here from each other, from life experiences, all of that. So I feel like knowing that you can be taught and that you need to be taught, and also teaching what you know is very important. That's like one of the most important things in life to me.
I agree. I mean, I always say that knowledge only becomes wisdom if it's passed on. If you keep it to yourself, it's just your knowledge. But if you pass it on, it becomes wisdom. So what about you, Judge? How important is it for young people to have a mentorship, a mentor? Excuse me.
Well, excuse me. I think it's very important for kids to have mentors because the generation has changed. Back when we were growing up, our age group, that 30s era, we were kind of like raised around a lot of older people, per se, like our cousins or the older guy from our block. We play ball with them, and older people, a lot of older people. I think kids are around a lot of kids nowadays.
I agree.
And because of that, they like guidance. So a mentor is like, I like to call it like a cheat code. You know what I'm saying? I look at myself as a cheat code, a trainer, a coach. We're cheat codes. People that can give you advice to get through things easily. Because we went through it, and we went through the hard phase. We don't want you to go through that. So I think everybody needs mentors, especially kids, today kids.
Absolutely.
Because they do a lot of silly things, and they don't think twice. They just do things that they see their friends doing. We did what we see our friends doing, but they was older.
Yeah.
Our cousins, our homeboys on the block. That kid that was 4 or 5 years older than us, he was 12, but he hung out with us because we all from the same block.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then when we grow up, you still got those ties, And then we go, that's my little man, that's my big homie, that's my big bro. And
I
that's
agree.
how it goes. I think that's what's missing today. I don't think that happens a lot.
When I was younger, it went exactly like that. Like, I didn't like hanging around people my age. I was always trying to hang out with people that was the 15 and 16 when I'm 11 or 12. And as you get older, as I got older, I found that a lot of my friends was like 5 to 8 to 10 years older than me because I always wanted to learn something. I always wanted to be ahead of the game, and you couldn't get that with hanging around people that was your age. What about you, Chris? You are a mentor as well as Just, as well as me, as well as you. What gave you that drive, and how important is it for people to be mentors to young people within their community?
What gave me the drive to be a mentor is the thing. The thing about that is, I don't think that's something that sparks within you. I think it's something that you stumble upon, like something that just opens itself up to you. Like the opportunity becomes available, and the next thing you know, you find yourself in these shoes, and you gotta fill it. So you're like, I'm in this role now. I gotta play it. And then you start questioning. It's funny about becoming a role model and a mentor, because you start questioning things you do now, because now other people are gonna follow your footsteps. So it's like I'm not just living for myself now. In a way, I'm living for other people, because some people are actually gonna follow what I do.
Yeah.
Think about what I do. So I mean, I guess once again, my mentor, Mr. D, just thinking about how he mentored me when he stepped in the role of a position of playing a father figure for me when I didn't have one at that time. Like, I mean, my father's in my life, but it's just we wasn't like here to here. So it's like to have that advice, it matters. But what really put me into that mentor space is when I'm in front of kids and they asking you questions, and you learn that they really look up to you. And it's like, damn, I gotta do something with this. Either I could waste it and pay it no mind, or I could take their attention and turn it into something useful and help them, go through these stages better than I did.
Agree. I agree 100%. I have a few mentors now, and they are of all different ages, and they always consistently push me out my comfort zone. And I challenge to say to you that sometimes you stumble upon mentorship or mentoring, and sometimes it is in you. Because for me, I was getting in a lot of trouble as a young person, not in the streets, but in school, not listening, fighting with my grandfather and my grandmother. And the mentors that came into my life, they really pushed me and put me in the right direction. Because at that time, like just spoke upon earlier, it was a village that raised the community, that raised young people in the community. It wasn't just your family, whether you had your mother, your father, your grandmother, etc. So I think that gave me the obligation, or it made me feel obliged to want to help young people within my community. Because I'm like, you know what? If I wouldn't have had certain people in my life, I would have probably been another statistic or dead. So you know what? I gotta be a leader in my community. I have to stand for something when these young people see me. You know? The next question is gonna be, why is it important to want to give back to the youth? You know, like it could be doing something like humble development. It could be doing something like, giving kids book bags. I have a friend, his name is Slim. He owns Just Us Barbershop. And every year he does like a back to school drive. And he gives out books and food and all different type of things for young people to feel inspired to want to go back. I noticed that a lot of people, or we're taught in society, like when you make it, just get out your community, move to that suburban area, forget about where you came from. How important is it for us to give back to young people, whether it be scholarships for college, inspiring them or showing them how to be entrepreneurs? Like, how important do you think? I'm gonna start with you again,
But to me, I don't know. I just feel like the way I live my life, I feel like people should live their life. Period. Is like putting yourself in that position in those shoes, and like you could remember when you was younger and you didn't really have nothing. Like we all pretty much came from nothing. So it's like, how can you get money and get on and look at these kids that look just like you and they don't got nothing and just act like you don't see it? Like, you gotta feel that. I'm a genuine person. I can't just turn my back. Today, I spent like $10 just giving guys candy because they selling it to support their music. And I don't even eat candy. I don't even eat that. I'm not gonna eat it. But I want to support you. I want to give back because I do music. And I'm thinking about it like, what if this was me? You could just, say, screw you, walk away, whatever. Like, I don't care about whatever you got going on. That's what most people do. But to me, like, why not support it if you can?
So check this out. One thing is for sure that is definitely important to mentor the youth is like, if we're playing a role in developing the future. So like, when we shaping these kids' mindsets, they're gonna go out and they're gonna do different things in the world, make different choices that maybe they wouldn't have made if they didn't meet us.
That's a fact.
So meaning like, you could take something, a classic example as in like Biggie, right? If Biggie never would have really took rapping seriously and made certain decisions, and he just stuck to selling drugs, we wouldn't have certain rappers that we have today that was inspired by Biggie to start rapping.
Absolutely.
So it throws everything off, and that's just one person.
Right.
So imagine people that's doctors, lawyers, and everything. It's like they could have ended up dead in jail, but they did this, and then this affected that person, and that person. It's a domino effect. Mm-hmm. So we play a role in that. And mind you, it's not just like you working with one kid. You working with several kids every year.
And then what they do is gonna affect other people. Other people.
So you shaping the globe. It's so important, and the weight is so barren. Like it could drive you crazy sometimes.
Absolutely.
And it has an impact on people, whether you know it or not. Like, encounters. I feel like today, me just doing that out of love, everybody walking past them, young black males just trying to sell candy. Nobody wanted to give them nothing. I'm the only one that took time out of my day to stop, talk to them, actually pay them mind like they're human beings, and show them some type of compassion. Like gave them my Instagrams, all that, staying connected with them. Like, it's like, I don't know. I know that they gonna think about that. I know that they're gonna remember that. I know that what we doing with these kids is influencing their lives and is impacting them for the future. So it's very important to me. It's probably the most important thing. I feel like, and back to what I was saying earlier, I feel like our people need this the most, because our youth is the really ones that's misguided and lost and going through things with nobody to help them and see it through. Because honestly, their parents or grandparents never figured out how to get through stuff. They never went to therapy. They never worked on their mental health. They feel like that's for white people because this is the type of stigma that we have. So it's like, we gotta be the ones that recognize, we conscious enough to know to break those generational curses and lead it on.
I agree. What's your take on this? Just you got
So
in your mind.
to piggyback off what you said in the beginning in terms of like people making it, getting money and moving out to the suburbs and stuff, that happens in our community because even though you're trying to be positive, there's always some negative in your community, so you have to be mindful of that. And where you came from, it was like having roaches in your crib or it was no heat at certain months, part of the months, like you want better for yourself, so that's why you move out to get a better chance of living in terms of how you live in a house and all that
Agreed.
stuff. So you move out, and then you can't make all this money and remain in the hood because you become a target after a while. Even though you're doing positive things, there's still negative people in your community that will do just things, and so you just gotta be mindful of all that stuff.
So
Hey, look who we listening to right now.
Let me ask you a question. So let's use Nipsey Hussle as an example because I ain't even gonna lie. I've been so inspired and saddened and mad about the murder and death of Nipsey Hussle is that I feel like I knew the brother, and a lot of people have acknowledged like all the things that he has done in his community and the fact that he opened up the Marathon store in a place where he once was getting locked up at or having gunfights at or going through whatever he was going through as the person that he was. Do you think what do you suggest or what do you think about that? Do you think that was a good idea?
So, the main thing I'm gonna harbor over right now is so it's like the word karma, right? When you figure out life, you'll understand how important karma is. Karma is probably like the number one thing. Well, I say second. Karma is second place to time, because time is probably the most expensive thing ever. Karma is all about like creating good karma for yourself. So to your question in the beginning, it's all about creating good karma for yourself. Like what we're doing for the youth, and that's why it's so important to give back to the youth. We're creating good karma, and it's gonna transcend. Like he said, that kid gonna help that kid. Like she said, I help kids, but can't I even have to? That's all creating good karma for yourself. Now, Nipsey Hussle lived a certain lifestyle where his karma came back to him. You know what I mean? Sorry to say, but that's pure fact. If Nipsey had a different lifestyle, that would have never happened to him. But because his past, all the things he did before, maybe, I don't know if he shot somebody, I don't know if he killed somebody, I don't know. But like karma is the number one thing. Like God is not going to make a kid mentally retarded out of the person's womb. That's karma within the family, that's karma within the spirits, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry to say what happened. I'm sad that it happens to Nipsey, but I feel like karma is like one of the biggest things, and I feel like when you at that high on the totem pole, like, you have to be a little smarter in terms of where you going. And Nipsey was real hands-on in the neighborhood, but he grew really, really big, and you just have to move real smart. Like Jay-Z's real big. There's so many things out here that he's probably owned, but you're never gonna hear about it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many things he's doing, but you're probably never gonna hear about it. So it's like Nipsey, if you're gonna open up a business and have it for your community, just do it. You don't necessarily have to be there. You know what I'm saying? Don't broadcast where you're gonna be at. I just feel like strategically wise, he should have been a little smarter to me. And I'm sorry that it happened to him, but when you're that high up there like that, you're making millions of dollars, your name is blowing up, and then your past life, gang related, or so many things was tied to his case that we don't really know the truth. None of us really know the truth. So the biggest thing you can look at is karma. You know what I'm saying? He probably was a bad guy. He probably was a gangster. He probably really killed people. But then he changed his life. But that karma, God don't even forget that. You know what I'm saying? God sees that.
But I feel like Nipsey's well aware though.
No, but
He was well aware. He knew what it was.
Give a rebuttal to him, and then y'all could go. I commend and I respect where you're coming from, and I believe
You said that yourself.
I believe that
multiple times.
the reality of what happens to all of us is based on karma and based off the energy that we put out there. I think that we control how long we live or how long we die, but I also think that we have to be very aware of our words because we are divine beings that can manifest the reality. So, if you speak upon negative things and you speak upon positive things, you throw two different signals into the universe. And depending upon the day, you could receive either one. And that's just the reality of how we create reality. You create reality through your thoughts, how you speak, what you think about, and what you do on a regular basis. And like just said, I don't know if, in the sense of karma, I know that he spoke upon him dying on numerous occasions. But I also think that, in my opinion, based upon the stature of where he was at in his life and what he was doing to heighten the frequency of his people, I don't think that he just got killed based on something that he potentially did to somebody else. In my mind, it's a bigger picture, and he goes into the boat or to the lane of a lot of our black leaders, like Medgar Evers, like Malcolm X, like Martin Luther King. People that, whether Malcolm X wasn't nowhere near where he was before he got killed. He was a pimp. You know what I'm saying? Slicking his hair back. But once he got that knowledge and he evolved, you see what he became. And that type of system is problematic to the structure of oppression. So anybody that resembled Nipsey Hussle could potentially be assassinated in this world, in this country.
Whether they have that lifestyle or not.
But that's not what I was saying. Like, I'm not saying he died because he killed somebody. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
No,
speaking.
we talked about karma. It could be shot, killed, doing something negative.
Like
and
Martin Luther King and all that's different.
How so?
how?
But
How
mean,
so?
it is.
I feel like it's different because at that time, black people was really slaughtered for everything we tried to do. So I feel like in that was governmental. Like, that was like assassinated. Look, this black guy is a big time leader. He's messing up all our plans. We gotta.
But
get
so
him
is
out
he.
of here.
So is he. So we really don't know.
But hold on,
We don't know.
but
That's what I'm
this,
saying.
but this what I feel like. This what I feel like. I don't. At first, I disagreed with the karma thing, but then I had to think about what you meant by it, and then I was like, I do agree. It's like, no matter what, if you put that negativity out there, that
It's
joint
gonna
do
come
come back
back.
around. So it's like, because at first I was like, we don't really know
I'm not saying
the
he got
detail.
killed
That's why I was
because
like,
he killed
that was gonna be my
somebody.
rebuttal. Like, we don't know the details of how he died, so we can't say that. But that's why. But then I was like, oh, the energy he means. So I'm like, all right, bet. Now with him staying in his neighborhood and people saying like, why would he do it? Knowing that he's doing all this. That I can't fault him for. I'm gonna just charge that to this is different times. Because if you look, and I actually respect him for that. Because if you look at like different music artists, people that really come from that community and like the community really love and respect and would die for, people like Bob Marley. Bob Marley would leave his car doors unlocked in the neighborhood. And he was just like, why am I locking my doors? I trust my people. Like, Bob Marley, he came from the neighborhood, so he went back. He would play volleyball on the streets with people. Then you got Biggie, that, he would still go living out here, mansions, all these fancy ass parties, but then he would still come back to the hood and shoot dice. Then you got, but it's just different times. Like, niggas
it's always the same time.
Can I ask a question?
Nah, the
Can I ask a
the
question,
respect on
everyone?
the streets changed, bro.
Let me ask you a question.
Niggas don't
real
have the
quick.
same.
Do we have to be smarter, or do we live in a time where you can't go back to your community as a person of color? Because I know white people do these type of things all the time.
With no
They
problem.
start businesses, they go back to the
I
businesses.
just said it in the beginning, right? Our community, we have different kind of people in our community.
Absolutely.
There's negative. Where's the white people who raised that?
But that's what we need to
Where's
work
the white
on.
people
All
raised
right,
that?
but
So
shit,
who's coming
that's
to
what we
rob
need
a
to
white
focus
person
on,
in
though.
the
Shouldn't we,
suburbs?
but shouldn't we identify the problems that's making
Exactly.
it where you
We need
can't
to
go
work
back
on
to
the
your
problems.
community
We don't need
and
to be
give back?
smarter and fix. We need to work on the problems.
Well, understand this, right?
We should be
Listen,
able to
though.
come home.
Let me
That's-
tell you
that's the
something.
bottom
This
No,
is why-
that
We
is a
should be able
fact.
to
We
come
should be
on.
able to
But
chill.
this is why y'all not understanding what I'm trying to say. So you just said it, right? Bob Marley, all these guys, they trusted their people so much. Look where he got them. Let's think about that. Where he got them.
Look
But
where it
Biggie
got
wasn't
them.
killed in Brooklyn,
Listen,
He wasn't killed by
I
his
know
own
that.
people.
And Bob Marley wasn't
neither
killed by his
was
own
Bob.
people.
Let's
So it's like,
You know, yes or
let's
no?
keep Bob
Biggie.
Marley.
Bob, oh, I think you're talking about Bob Marley.
Nah, Biggie wasn't.
Yeah, but you
Bob-
saying, but stick
Bob-
to what?
Bob-
Are you saying black?
I'm not-
It's black people
I'm
everywhere.
not saying.
Yeah.
We talking about
I'm not-
coming
yeah,
home.
we talking about the neighborhood.
Yeah, the
What do you-
neighborhood.
Neighborhood doesn't matter. When you at that level, you have to be smarter. There's people in
We
your
completely
neighborhood.
understand what you're saying, but
Yeah.
what we saying is we need to fix the community.
It's
We
hard.
can't just ignore the problems and
But
say,
this
"Oh,
is-
we just gotta avoid it and
This
be
is what I'm-
smarter." We need
Alright,
to
so, alright,
we need
let's
to
say-
break down the
let's
community and
let's just say
rebuild
this.
it.
Let's just say this. Each of us got $1 million and we still live in a neighborhood. How are you going to move in your neighborhood?
Okay.
And everybody in your neighborhood
No.
knows you got that $1
Wait
million.
a minute.
You know how
Okay.
we gonna move, but
Everybody
like I just
living
said,
in the
we gotta
neighborhood.
work on the fact that
So
the
you
neighborhood
gonna
is
work
like
on,
that.
Wait, you going to work on.
I'm not saying we gotta work on that when we get it. I'm saying we
Nah,
gotta
but
work
you
on
see
that right
living in
now.
it.
I feel what
Nah,
you're saying.
No, I don't.
Time out. We all talking, right? let's get this for a minute, right? Because one of the questions is, if you had $100 million, what would you do to change your community? So this is gonna kind of coincide with what we're talking about right now. Now, in my opinion, the person that I know that I'm gonna become, where Cool for Life is gonna grow into, me as an individual, I know I'm gonna create success like a Nipsey Hussle, like a Jay-Z, and I want to be just as influential in my community as a Malcolm X or Marcus Garvey or Martin Luther King. Now, you're telling me that I should be smarter. You're absolutely right. I should be aware when I come to my community that there are all type of different, mindsets and people that don't think like how I think. But at the same time, I will never have fear to be able to come back to a place where I grew up at, because I shouldn't have to have that fear. I know that fear was created through that oppressive system to stop me from going back to my community. Because if more people were willing to stay in their community like Nipsey Hussle, it wouldn't be such an outlier situation.
That is true.
It wouldn't be like,
true.
look how amazing Nipsey Hussle is. Nipsey Hussle is so amazing because he decided to say, I be around Jay-Z. Yeah, I got a bunch of businesses. I'm a multi-millionaire, but I can still go back to a place where, like right now, my studio is in my living room in the hood or in my community. I'm not in the hood because it's not the hood no more, but I kind of still live in the hood. And when you think about it, if I become a multi-millionaire in a year, I still want to be able to come back to my community because I might get inspired differently. So you telling me I can't because somebody might kill me in my hallway?
Facts. You know what to say. If we blow up this year, you telling me I can't because somebody might kill me in my hallway? I'm coming home.
Y'all do what y'all want. I'm doing what I'm gonna do. So listen,
but nobody not gonna have me scared to come home.
It's not about you being scared to come home. You could come home all the time. You could come home whenever you want, but you got to be strategic.
No, bro. I ain't.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
I agree with you
saying.
I agree with you saying. I'm gonna just charge with.
I'm saying is, you got $100 million and your whole neighborhood know it, the bad guys and the good guys. You just gonna be walking around? No. This is what I'm trying to say.
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all.
This is what I'm trying to say. So you're not scared to be there, but you know you got $100 million. You cautious that everybody else knows you're not going to be moving loosely. You have to have strategy.
Facts.
That's what all I'm saying.
But I don't. In his head, he don't feel like he was moving loosely. He was on his property.
I feel
you.
He was on his property. He didn't go out to the club or something with no guns, no people, no security. He was at his store.
How many times
we heard this story though?
Listen, what I do agree with, because I didn't walk it back. I didn't watch the video.
How many times we heard
what I do agree with is that I wish that it was a better setup of security, or what I wish, since we're talking about it, I wish that we could change the frequency and the mindset of our people where we start to look out and protect each other to a divine level. Because I think that we're at a place where, through oppression, through slavery, through Jim Crow, through all of these 500 years of, the bad stuff, we have been conditioned to not love and look out for our brothers and sisters. So we'll watch a woman get hurt. We'll watch a man get hurt. And we'll just be like, yo, that ain't my brother. I don't know him. And we'll keep it pushing. But that idea right there within itself is the reason why we're being oppressed. Because honestly speaking, people of color make trillions of dollars a year. Honestly speaking, we already know we smart because we started civilization. So what's stopping such a divine race from being great? Ourselves. Things like that. Not being able to go to your community because you might get your head blown off.
Well, I'm going to just piggyback off of what I'm trying to explain. And like she said, we have to work on the problem within the community. And that's what Nipsey was trying to do, correct?
You're doing it as well.
But this is what I'm trying to say. If I had $100 million, K, you wouldn't see me at the high ever. If I would have a camp at another gym and the kids would come there, you would never see me at the high. Understand this, what I'm trying to say to you. Because everybody will know I'm going to be there. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So, and it's like, you have to be strategic. So, you can't try to groom your community when you have $100 million, you're a big time rapper, and be there walking around loosely because of those things.
The truth of that,
it's very hard to do. But now, if you're growing up like me right now, for instance, this is my 4th year training, and I've been building positive. I give kids free sneakers, shorts, shirts, everything, whatever. That's me being positive, right? That's me growing my community. Because those kids that I hope through the process is going to get the affection. When I get my big bag, I have to move wiser now. Now I got to get context of those kids. Now I have to, you know what, boys and girls, my old school, I'm going to come there for one week or one day pop up on Coach Love and surprise her. I started out here. I'm a big time trainer now. I just want to give everybody sneakers. I'm out. I'm gone. That's how you do it now. You can't. I can't live down the block. You can't. I'm just saying. You can't do it.
I appreciate that, and this is why I have a podcast, because I want to agree to disagree. What's your take on it? If you had $100 million right now, Chris,
but
what do you think about going to your community? Would you be a Nipsey Hussle, or would you try to strategically do it a little different?
Before you start, just to let you know, right? You got that studio in your crib. If Fab, Jada Kiss, all the big time rappers start coming in, you gotta move. Look at me crazy. You gotta move.
So look,
you can't stay there no more.
I want to comment on
that.
So
you gotta move.
But what I'm gonna say is about what he's saying. I don't really feel like this is a matter between all of us. I don't think this is a matter of like agree to disagree. I think it's a matter of just like what he's saying is 100% fact. I think it's just our choice to how we would want to live. We can't deny what he's saying is true. Like, it don't matter who you are. Like, if people know what you have, it don't matter how many people love you. There will be somebody that's gonna come for that.
Exactly.
So he's 100% right.
There's gonna be somebody anywhere.
But it's us. It's
anywhere.
But it's us.
How you figure that?
It's us.
It's hate everywhere. It's jealous people everywhere.
Certain places, people can't get you.
But it's.
I'm not gonna.
But it's
certain places. Certain people can't get
That's
you.
what
But I'm saying everywhere you go, there's always gonna be a person that's hating.
I'd rather that guy who got 200,000 less than me hate on me than that guy who got nothing hate on me.
Listen,
you know what I'm trying to say? I'd rather that.
I think one of the
because he
things,
still got a house and a Benz, all that. His wife, everybody take care. He just mad because it's me who got more money.
I think
I'd rather that.
I understand what you're saying. I think one of the things that plague our people is fear, right? And I also think that fear creates negative realities, just like positive thoughts do. And
I do think fear is definitely.
I think that, like I said, I don't think that Nipsey Hussle should have changed anything around of where he put his business at and what he was doing. I think that he should have changed the team that he had with him. So, the type of leader he was and what he was doing for his community, he should have had damn near some military type of people around him with an elevated thinking. So you couldn't just come up to him and kill him like that. But I don't necessarily, everything happened for a reason. And I think the divine reason that happened was to shift our frequency. And I personally will never be afraid to come to my community. You could give me $1,000 in my pocket. You could give me $100 million. I'm going to still be coming to my community with $100 million. But it's just going to be a different way of thinking.
But this what I'm saying though. But this what I'm saying though. You saying, but it's like again. I'm saying y'all don't understand. Like when you really double it back, it's not about fear. It's about what's a fact. You all right? Say if he has like just an example, right? Say Nipsey had the top brand security right here, right? Mm-hmm. How you gonna prevent a sniper rifle? Somebody on the roof that's gonna snipe.
That goes.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like
that goes back
to what
fear.
depths are you willing to go?
That goes back to fear. That's like me saying right now that I want to inspire people of color all over the nation. That type of mindset
but you're not being realistic. Why you think if Obama was to come to the school, boys and girls, that everything would be shut down in 20-mile radius?
That's what I'm saying. Bro. Everything will be shut down on a 20-mile radius.
You think Obama's scared to come here? No. I understand what you're saying. He's not scared to come here. He gotta be cautious. He has to everything move be shut down. That's 20-block radius around the house will be shut down. That's what I'm saying. Nobody on the roof. There'll be a cop on every roof. Yes. That's a real fact. Yes. You think Obama's scared, bro?
Because it's like with something like that, you can't take no chance. Niggas just be like, you just can't be like, oh, we got the street locked down. No, the street, the park, who's across the street, who's on the roof, like. Down, so for Nipsey to be like that every day, he wouldn't feel comfortable enough. He wouldn't move. He wouldn't move because he would not feel comfortable enough.
He wouldn't feel comfortable enough, and I don't even think he viewed himself like that. Like I feel like he viewed himself so connected to the people that he didn't feel like he was bigger than life. Like I can't walk nowhere without. But he didn't view himself
that goes back to what I was saying. Bob Marley felt the connection with the people. Biggie felt the connection with the people. It's always that connection, and that's what I'm saying. What he's saying is a fact, but it's all.
He felt that connection with the people, and he actually did millions of dollars. Was able to go through his community and be where he was at without,
Yeah.
But he did have security, and he did have people that looked out for him.
A lot of times his own people.
Bro, mostly it wasn't even about his security. He wasn't decked out in security. He just had the love.
Like I said to y'all before, how many times you heard this story?
It's different times,
right? So now listen, right? for instance.
Come on, he ain't dying. He didn't get assassinated, bro.
I ain't,
He
I'm
di-
not,
oh, I
I'm
was about to say,
I'm just
ain't nothing happened to Ali.
No, I'm just saying how many times I heard the story. I feel like you just gotta be cautious, right? I understand we from the neighborhood. I'm from the hood. I got so many friends that I grew up from the hood. I got gangsters. I got drugs. I got everybody. I'm not hanging out with them though. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? When I see them, it's all love because we grew up together, whatever the case may be. But you're not gonna be walking around with me when I'm about to open my business.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, so at the end of the day, if you want a certain life for yourself, you have to surround yourself around the things where you're headed. You know what I'm saying? If I'm heading to $1 million, I need to be sitting down with millionaires. I gotta pick your brain, I gotta pick your brain, I gotta pick your brain. Because at the end of the day, I can't be with the millionaire, the drug dealer, and the killer. I can't be with, this is crazy right here.
But all right, my
How
only.
we learning, you know what I'm saying? So we gotta separate the two.
But it's still you have to be around some humility.
No. I always check my boys, and I'm always around humble. I live
That-
in the hood still. So, for instance, growing up playing basketball, right? The kids I grew up with, I eventually got better than my kids from my neighborhood, my block. So I couldn't play with them as much. You know what I'm saying? But the humble side of me, those are my boys. I still would go to the park and play with them. Okay. You know what I'm trying to say? Because that was fun. These are my friends. You know what I'm saying? So, but I knew the separation. When it's time to take ball serious, I got to get with the Wolves. I got to get with the Dogs. I got to get with the top trainer. I got to go away for college. Yo, bro, I'll be back. I'm going away to college. When I come back, hanging out with him all summer. You get what I'm trying to say? You got to understand your purpose in life. Nipsey had a big purpose in life. And like you said, he didn't even look at himself like that. That's why he kind of got caught off guard.
That's
Because
true,
the
too.
love that he got from the hood was so real
That's
that he
true,
was
too.
just moving comfortably.
Nah, I
Know what I'm
feel
saying? So-
he knew he had a big person in life, but I just don't feel like he felt that he was bigger than the people.
I think
That's
that if
what-
you
that's
listen
what
to his
fucked him up.
music, he knew that he was big and he knew that he could potentially still be killed. And he also just had the audacity to just keep going. You know what I mean? And it's some people out there that live like that. They live life fearlessly. They live life to
Right.
an extent where, you know, to be honest with you, the same thing that killed him made him who he was. The same community,
Right.
the same
Right.
violence,
That's
the
a fact.
same dark cloud that he speaks about in his music. It made the sunshine
What is
for
that
him.
called, though? Isn't that called karma?
I don't know what it's called because, to be honest with
What
you,
it's called?
since the whole subject done changed, so I'm gonna close the computer. To be honest with you, there's a lot of Nipsey Hussles. There are a lot of young people that get killed by other black people, by police, that don't make it, and they don't get the broadcast, and they don't get the views that Nipsey Hussle has got, right? Give me 1 second. They don't get the views that Nipsey Hussle has got. So my personal perspective on this is that we need to change the way young people are thinking, because a lot of young people are dying. A lot of young people are being incarcerated right now. And we need to figure out how we can collectively work together, because I'm sitting at a table of people that are working with young people. We are leaders within our community. But I know a lot of people that complain about the way the world is, but they don't have no philanthropy under their belt. They don't give no time in their community
That's
for
a fact.
anything. If they're
That's a
not getting
fact.
paid, if they're not getting the type of publicity that they want, they're like, I'm too busy. But at the end of the day, the hood is the hood, because so many people have taken their hands out the hood and they just leave the negative. But there are a lot of Jews. Look at you. I done seen this brother right here coach kids for free. Coach kids, like, and he charges per hour. But he's like, yo, you know what, man? You motivated. You know what? I know your parents might not could pay for this right now, so I'm gonna give you a skill that could potentially change your life. How many people are paying it forward? Oh, how many people are complaining right now? Because I see a lot of people in the community that's complaining, but they're not giving their time and they're not giving their dues. I even feel at times, sometimes, that I can't go to the elders and ask them for advice or for how to get certain things done. So I know younger people than me feel that way about people that's like us, that's not like us, if you get what I'm saying. Because everybody's not doing this. Everybody's not motivated. Even right now, y'all didn't have to come here, but y'all said y'all gave y'all word. So how can we fix this problem? How can we change the mindset of these young people? Because you should be able to go to your community. You should be able to give back at a high level. You should be able to be wealthy and still be able to be seen in your community every day. So how can we change the mindset of love? Because if we have more love for each other, if we have more respect for each other, then it wouldn't matter if you had $1 million. Because I love you. I wouldn't kill somebody because they got money. Because I value life more than money.
Well, first of all, I say it on the show every time I'm on here. It's just it's just what it is. You can't feel like that about nobody else or love nobody else and love your community and give all this love to these people if you don't love yourself. Most of our people don't love ourselves. They don't
That's
value
true.
themselves. They don't
That's
respect
true.
themselves. They still feeding into all this slavery, brainwash mindset that we had going on for 400 years. So we gotta break that down first. We gotta get them to work on themselves first mentally and work on mental health issues, like I said earlier, and break all these generational curses that.
To be fair, it's not that some you can't even blame. It's just the
I'm not
slavery.
blaming them.
The,
It's
no,
conditioned.
the feeding it's so deeply rooted that it's like,
Right.
and then it's
That's
so
what I'm
many.
saying.
It comes in so many
I know
different
that
forms.
it's not our natural choice. We born into this. We're
Okay.
born into this literally as black people. This is the life. It was already structured this way.
Can I say something
So-
real quick? Not to cut you off, right? I just cut you off, and I'm sorry. What's that movie that came out with Taraji when the young black women helped the
Hidden Figures.
Hand Figures, right?
Hidden Figures.
If you go back into your history, right, and you look at people of color in the 30s and the 40s, we was on a plight. I'm talking about we was moving upward. No matter civil rights, no matter what was going on, people of color wanted something, and we were on a fight to get it. So a lot of different things got introduced during that fight. You got, the war on drugs. You got the incarceration system. You got the breaking of the black family structure. You got the lose. We lost a lot of wealth in the crack era. Yeah. So all the negative things. You have a lot of the poverty-stricken communities that exist now is generational. It didn't just appear because a bunch of people of color decided like, yo, we're gonna start killing each other and start selling drugs to each other because we can't make guns and drugs. So they have to come from somewhere. So my thing now is for people to understand that a lot of the young people now, we're in the matrix here. So the matrix, before you could be with Neo, you had to get jacked in. So it's the same thing with people in the real world. Before you could be a part of the game to start making the community better, before you could start your own business like Just, or you could create a painting like you, or do a dance or make a rap like C, you have to get jacked in. And a lot of our young people, they haven't got jacked in. Right. So they could potentially be the agent. They could turn around, blow your head off. They could be like, they could not listen to nothing that you're saying. Mm-hmm. So I think that our mission is to do the jacking in. We need to figure out how to get them out the matrix. Because we can't fight the war yet. Because not too many people.
Got enough people.
So many people are asleep.
Enough.
So many adults are asleep. Mm-hmm. So that's automatically the young people are going to be asleep. So I think that it's our duty to shift these young people's consciousness. And that's what I think that we're all doing here. Yes, you have to be strategic when you come back to your community. Yes, you have to watch out for the haters and, all the negative things that come along with being a strong person of color. Because let's be real. Once you show that you're strong, once you show that you don't want to connect with the system, you can potentially get taken out in this world. That's not my opinion. That's just the reality of what happens when you're a strong person of color. But should that stop you from pushing the bar and shaking it up a little bit? Because I know that's what I came in for in this time. I want to go out in a blaze of glory, in a sense where when I'm gone, I've created a platform of young people that have remembered who they are. Mm-hmm. I gotta do something.
And that's why I say in Java.
And it don't make no sense for you to get it. I agree now with what Justin's saying, because Martin Luther King got assassinated. Malcolm X got assassinated. All of our Nipsey Hussle, a lot of our leaders got killed, right? Mm-hmm. And the oppression system is like Hydra off of the Marvel movies. You cut one head and 3 heads appear. So after you get killed and they bury you, oppression gonna still be moving. It don't sleep. It's 24/7. So for us to die for the system now, it's still gonna be here. So what can we do to end this?
So I can say something.
Or fix this?
I'm gonna say something. So
we
said mentoring, right? Mentoring. Yeah. So this is a part of fixing it. But you talking about making up for 450 years of slavery? That's very hard, right? So we got to take baby steps. That's why I'm a coach. That's why he's a mentor. That's why she's doing. That's what you're doing. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not something you can just fix. You're only going to gain a couple people within it. The number one target in the world is black people. Number one target. The most special being on the planet is black people. Everything on this planet wouldn't be here if it wasn't for us. Point period. I ain't learned about Hidden Figures till 2 years ago. I done went to college, everything. I didn't hear about that. So they programmed it to where we think negative things, we do negative things. So one of my biggest things that I say as a JV coach to my kids, the boys and girls, is don't allow people to fuck with you. That's what I tell them, right? And I say that about this. Why you got 3 cuts in your eyebrow? One of my players. Oh, I think you're gonna fit the description. You know that, right? He's not thinking of that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, why you sagging your pants? Where was your belt? You know you're gonna fit the description. So the cops got an opportunity to fuck with you. We give people a lot of opportunities to fuck with us. In terms of the negativity that we think, in terms of the silly shit that we do, and in terms of the poor guidance that we have. So all 4 of us probably have over 20 people that we're connected that we're doing something positive with, right?
Yes.
After that, those 20 people gonna get their own 20 people each. That's how you build and change your community. That's why I'm a trainer.
But
That's why I have my own middle school league. That's why I'm coaching and I'm doing all these other things. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like at this rate, we gotta. The real question is, how far are we really willing to go with this? Because at this rate, with the presidency and then everything that's going on in the streets, it's like we gotta take mentoring to a whole nother level. How involved are you really willing to get? How are you just gonna stand around or are you gonna stop it? Like, take Monday for example. I'm in the park, right, with the kids. We about to leave. I see another group of middle school kids grouping around, like 25 of them, 25 to 30 of them, taking out their phones, basically setting it up for a fight. So I'm like, yo, we out here. Like, this don't got nothing to do with us. Problems, we out here. But then I'm like, damn, see, this is a whole crowd of black kids. I could walk away, or I could try to stop this. Because after all, if I keep saying black people, my people, isn't this my people? This is the same neighborhood that I work in and grew up in. So aren't these my people?
Yes, they are.
So I'm like, damn.
So you have to move smart.
Huh?
So you have to move smart.
Nah, man. I don't think I was smart that moment, because what I did was, I was like, yo, told my coworker to take them. I'm like, yo, went over. And then I actually saw how they set it up. They transitioned into like a little park, and they had a gate, and they closed the gate and shut it. So I'm like, they even making traps? So I walked over there. I'm like, yo, this is over. This is over. Now, of course, like, they gave me feedback. Like, it was, what I saw, bro, it was so scary to see my people like this. Because then when you see the ignorance unfold, it makes you question a lot of things. How trapped are our people, and are we ever going to get out of this knot? Because to see I even told them, I said, I won't sit here and watch my people fight each other. I said, y'all want to sit here and fight your own skin color when there's enemies out there that have a target on your back. If y'all want to fight them. Use all this passion and energy for them, but not for your own. They told me, shut up, still whispering, instigating, fight him, bro. I'm like, it was sad, bro. Because it ain't just them, it's more others. So how far are you willing to go, bro? You going to get involved every time you see black people fight each other? To wake them up? Are we going to do Spike Lee did in that movie School Days?
Yeah.
And telling everybody, wake up? Because then you can get, what if somebody's not hearing your message? What if the kids had a knife, would have stabbed me or shot me? I would have died by trying to get that message out. But this is what I try to do for my people, right? So it's like, you got to ask yourself, how far are you willing to go?
Listen.
So what you should have
I feel like
Wait, we got.
What I should have did was this.
Listen.
But here's the thing, though. I'm happy I did it. I'm happy I did it. Because I prolonged it long enough until the cops did come, so they could not fight in that park.
I'm happy that you did it as well, and we got to get ready to cut off. But this is what I'm gonna say, right? You a part of the problem or you a part of the solution. I was walking up the block the other day. It was 4 young kids that was in junior high school trying to steal the Citibank bikes. I watched, just like how you watch, for 5 to 10 minutes. I watched about 15 to 25 adults walk by these kids. Now, if the cops would have came, that could have potentially led to a variety of different things. So I said to myself, like, I was talking to an old lady. She said, look, baby, this is a shame. I said, you right, man. Give me 1 second. And I walked over there. I said, yo, can I ask y'all a question? Y'all done got 2 bikes off the thing already. Y'all trying to get all the bikes, so you want your parents to come get you, right? They looking at me like, I'm like, yo, get out of here before y'all get yourself in trouble. So one of the kids tapped the other kid like, oh, come on, son. They like, yo, good looking, man. I understand it might be dangerous. I understand that we live in a world where our people was trained to hurt us or hurt each other. But understand this, we wouldn't have the freedoms like this show
if people didn't sacrifice.
That's a fact. That's and have done the things that they have done to get us here to be able to have these opportunities.
That's a fact.
And I think where we get lost in this generation at is that we think that we have the we have the opportunity not to be
Right.
able to do that.
Right.
So we could just keep walking.
Right.
But
Right.
those are the type of things
Right, right,
that's
right.
leading to our enslavement. So I
No,
want
you
to thank
preaching now,
y'all
bro.
for coming out. I
preaching.
really respect y'all, and I really think that the people that's at this table are leading to the energy that's needed to young people to change their minds. Just remember that you can do anything that you put your mind to as long as you believe so. Hate is destroying the world. Love will save it. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all soon.